Welcome to the Kiepersol Texas podcast. My name is Michael Roth, and today I am joined again by Alex Lee, our winemaker here at Kiepersol. How you doing, Alex?
Oh, I'm doing great. Doing
Good.
wonderful.
Yeah, we have a nice, pretty decent morning. It's not too hot. It's got a little bit of a breeze, and as you can see, we've got a nice, beautiful view. Alex, so I've been thinking through some things, and I want to learn a little bit more about Kiepersol. But before that, something I've heard people say, especially in the wine industry, and me being still relatively new to the wine world, says when you drink a bottle of wine, you get to experience a sense of place in that vintage and that year specifically. So if I'm drinking a French wine from 2015, I get to experience the 2015 sense of place in that vineyard that's just captured in a bottle.
Yes, that's very true. They have a word for it too. It's called terroir, which literally means the land, or we utilize it as the sense of place. And we are very heavily terroir driven here, especially with our wine and vineyard styles. We're one of the few places around here that are blessed enough to have both a vineyard and winery right here, and we only use our own grapes to make all of our wine. So we have a really true, deep connection to both of those things.
So you mentioned terroir as a sense of place. Now, we also are an estate winery. Is it true then that an estate winery is also the terroir, or can you break down these words a little bit and help us understand?
So they are not exclusive to each other.
Okay.
So an estate winery is one that only makes wine from the grapes that have right here on site. Now, there's some appellation laws and everything that we're not currently appellated here right now. The terroir doesn't have everything to do with just the grapes themselves. It has a lot more to do with the winemaking side of things and attaching that to the people, the community, especially that are the ones who are primarily drinking that, or the ones that it's being made for. And terroir has a lot to do with not being like anywhere else in the world. Like, we're not trying to make a California wine. We're not trying to make a Chilean wine. We're not trying to make French wines. We're trying to make East Texas wines. And that is very, very fortunate, because that's what we're being given, East Texas fruit as well.
We're obviously standing in Sangiovese. So where's Sangiovese typically grown? Where is it originating?
Yeah, so Sangiovese is typically an Italian grape.
Just to kind of clarify some things with terroir, if we're growing an Italian style grape, but we're in Texas, are we technically in an Italian terroir, or let's break that down a little bit for people.
So not specifically. It is traditionally and historically an Italian grape, or one that has grown very well in Italy, and they quite like it very well over there, but that doesn't mean it's exclusive to Italy. Just as we can get up and move from place to place, so can these grapes here. And just like people too, you adapt, you change, you embrace the environments that you're in, and just as the grapes themselves do. And through that, they become much more expressive of the environment and the land as well. We have that extra layer here too, just because we have our grapes right here on site, so they get that extra bit of depth and connection to the land themselves. And we've been fortunate enough to be really embraced by the community for the past 20 years in the style of the wines that we've produced off of that. Now, that does not at all mean that our wines are exclusive to just East Texas communities as well.
Right.
And these wines are for anybody who wants something that's a little bit more comfortable, a wine that's delicate, very balanced, but still very complex. The main thing is not something that you have to fight, or any truly astringent bitterness that you have to power through. We want our wines to be very inviting, but still stylistically characteristic of whatever you're wanting to have.
Right. Okay. And so, if I understand correctly, there's obviously a difference between a French cab and then a Napa Valley cab, and then even our Kiepersol cab are just completely different. And we make ours just a little bit different, right? Just because we intended to, right? We want it to be a little bit more soft, a little bit more delicate. So if we make ours intentionally different, why is that?
I'd say it's very reactive, or my job is to just help the grapes themselves express them whatever way that they want to, or the best way that they can be expressed. And I'm just the lens to make that happen. So the grapes that come in here that are shaped and formed by the environment that we have out here, they have tendencies to want to be into a rosé. We make a really nice black Spanish rosé, and we find that it is shown best as a rosé. Take our Kiepersol Cabernet. It tends to be a little bit lighter compared to some other Cabernets out there, just because we don't have that extended hang time or we don't allow the extended hang time out here, but instead we end up with a lot more fruit forwardness, a lot more balance, and we don't have to fight the astringency on the back end either, while still maintaining that nice complexity.
Making wine as a winemaker, you're basically capturing a sense of place in a bottle, but then it's almost like an invitation to come and experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially here at Kiepersol.
Yes, yeah. Even if you have it right here, it's the best way to have it, but even when you're halfway across the country, this is still an invitation, and you're opening a bottle of East Texas Sunlight, really, whenever you have one of our Moscatos. Or if you want something that's a little bit more delicate, you're enjoying a piece of East Texas with each one of our bottles all across the board.
I've brought over, we have our RTs and our Azuca RTs. Let's talk real quick about that. So we've got our RTs here.
Absolutely. So this one, like I said, everything that we make here is grown right here on site, and we don't grow a Pinot Noir grape, but we're still very much inspired by that. And we still wanted something to kind of fit into that style. We found some grapes that really fit into that style. The RTs here means artistry and Afrikaans, very much inspired by that Pinot Noir. So onto the lighter side, of course, very, very delicate acidity, and of course no bitterness, but that you'll find across the board on many of our wines. And that's where our Azuca RTs is very well shined as well. So this is going to be similar to the RTs here, but it will be a little bit more onto the semi-sweet side of things.
Okay, so if you're a little bit more on the dry side, you'd want to go with the RTs, but if you want something with just a little sweetness in it, you'll go to Azuca RTs. Now, what does Azuca mean?
Azuca means sweet, so this is sweet artistry and artistry that we have here.
Awesome, yeah. And again, so the Afrikaans is because of Pierre de Vet and Marnel and Velmay. They're all from South Africa. Originally, Pierre spoke Afrikaans, and so you'll see a lot of our heritage and culture in our wines and some of the naming of it. So that's where that comes from. Even Kiepersol, it's a type of tree from South Africa. You can find another story of that in one of our previous podcasts. This is an awesome opportunity to try the 2012 vintage of these two wines. You get to really capture our sense of place, and it's very welcoming, it's very inviting, and these are some of our best-selling wines, and that's not because we want them to be, it's because you guys, the customers and our guests, have come and really enjoyed this. And again, Pinot Noir style with a little bit on the drier side, and this one more on the sweet side. So come on out, come check it out. Come visit Kiepersol. We're inviting you guys to come out, and if you guys can't come, find one of the Kiepersol wines out on the store shelves throughout Texas. Seriously, guys, thank you guys so much, and thanks again, Alex. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.